Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Golden Ratio Podcast. I am Jen, GR Mom, joined as always by GR Dad.
Hi.
Hi, GR Dad. How's it going?
I've had coffee. How about you?
I have not, but maybe I should because I would like some of your energy.
Cocktail of the week is coffee and stevia. Yum.
That's really good. And if you're a super follower, you have seen every detail of GR Dad's process of making coffee and stevia.
Yep. There's a lot of details.
So we are podcasting from a distance. You were up in the great frozen north, and I am down here in tropical paradise.
It's, again, hard to wrap my head around the fact that it's 20 degrees here and it's 70 degrees there.
Yeah, no kidding.
And we're both complaining about the weather.
No, I'm happy with the weather. It was a little chilly earlier this week. I had the space heaters out, but it's fine now.
How chilly was it?
It was like 63 at one point.
Oh my goodness. That's like sluggish iguana weather. They're not falling off the roof, but it's sluggish.
There was an iguana on the roof this week. If you follow me over at Jen Runs with Dogs, I was like out with the dogs and I saw this thing on the roof. And at first I was like, is it part of like a palm tree? And I was like, there are no trees higher than our roof. And then I was like, oh, it's an iguana that got up there and his tail was like hanging off the edge. So I put my phone on a selfie stick and I've got a great video of him. And everybody's like, were you on a ladder? Did you climb onto the roof, Jen? But I just used a selfie stick and filmed the iguana. And he stayed up there overnight.
It looks scary because if you had been hanging off the roof where you were filming, you would fall far.
Oh, yes, it would have been quite dangerous.
The selfie stick is a lot less scary.
Yep. So anyway, we'll get all into the trip up there and everything, but I do have administrative corner first.
I love administrative corner.
I know you do. Which is so once again on Instagram, I got the challenge to get 1.09 million views on Reels in a month, which is just, I think it's just like how they're paying people to do Reels. Like, you make money on YouTube because they share advertising. You can make a little bit of money. I mean, we're not even talking tens of dollars, like ones of dollars on TikTok. I mean, if you were super popular, you could maybe make a couple $100 a month, but you still get a little bit. But then Instagram wasn't paying anything for making Reels, which they want to be TikTok, even though it sucks. And so I think the way that they're doing it is that this is just going to be like every month I get one of these challenges. But anyway, once I hit the 1.09 million, I get the totality of the bonus that they offer. And so we hit it this week. So I'm taking more Mark Zuckerberg's money.
Awesome. I wonder if they know that you're also busting on them at the same time.
Man, if they knew all the shit I talk about Facebook and Meta and their nonsense, they wouldn't give me any money. Oh, well, I got it though.
$1,000 for them.
So thanks everybody.
Nothing.
Thanks for watching the Reels.
Yes. The content is excellent though too, I gotta say. It's excellent.
I mean, it's just bonus dog content shared from a slightly different account. But like I post it on my running account, but then I cross-post it over to the Golden Ratio. So as long as you're watching the Golden Ratio story, you're getting all of it anyway. So it's pretty easy. Just watch 3 seconds.
Music. That's much better.
Did I put music in some of it?
Oh, like all of it. It's good stuff. Like Voodoo
Man. Oh,
Man.
no, that's true. Like on TikTok, I do put the background songs, yeah.
Yeah, you do it on the Reels.
I try to make it fun.
Totally. Like the Lazy Venk is lazy, but Lazy Venk with music is inspiration.
Anyway, thanks everybody for watching them. The challenge goes through, I think, January 23rd. So we'll see on January 24th or 5th if I get another challenge for the next month. And if I do, there will be more Reels.
If not, Reels suck.
All right, let's talk about dog updates. So here's what I've got on my to-do list, Ingo, just so you're prepared for what's on here.
Oh, should have put pants on.
No. You can. I don't care about your pants. I can't see whether you're wearing pants. I don't want to know.
This is going to get complicated.
So we have to give, obviously, a road trip update, which has some twists and turns. I'll give a Florida update. So let's start with the road trip.
Yeah. So let me jump in, and then you can always interject and shape as you wish. So I was going to leave on Saturday to get here on a Sunday so that we could start the training on Monday. Training was always going to start on Monday. The guys like start on Monday. It's
Yep.
MLK Day, but he's not a federal employee. It doesn't mean anything to him. And so then we started watching the weather report, mostly you, realizing that there was snow coming into DC, pretty good amount of snow coming into DC on Sunday. And we just heard last week that there was a 27-hour backup on I-95
95.
between Richmond and DC, a stretch of maybe 80 miles that usually takes you an hour. It took hundreds of people 27 hours because they kind of just shut everything down because there was ice and snow. It shut itself down by cars blocking everything. And people couldn't get off the exits because they were frozen and full of other cars that had spun out. So, people actually were trapped in or near their cars for 25 hours, and nobody really did anything about it. There was no National Guard. There was no one handing out blankets, no Red Cross. It was just kind of miserable.
Yeah.
And this is an hour from D.C. Great. So anyway, we're a little sensitized to snow around D.C., which causes havoc, especially on 95, which is what I'm driving on. So we decided that I would leave not on Saturday, but on Friday to get in on Saturday. And, do the stopover Friday night instead of Saturday night. So I left on Friday. And again, Remy and Voods were signed up for this class on Monday. And, I had all the records and all the vaccination records and all the leashes and everything. I just took it all with me to be prepared for this class. And then what happened?
Can I just interject real quick as you're
Of course.
progressing here? So, and maybe you were going to get there. One of the requirements for Voods to attend class is that he had all of his vaccines. And we realized on Thursday that when we took him to get all of his vaccines, like in December, he had just had a seizure, and so they didn't want to give him everything at once. So they gave him his rabies, but they had waited to give him his Bordetella and distemper and lepto, and he needed those. And so I was like, oh no. And so I called him. I'm like, you guys, could we get him in Friday morning when GR Dad is leaving for these vaccines? And they're like, sure. So you go, you get the vaccines, and then on your way, I get the documentation of the vaccines to send to the place, and there's no distemper on there. So it is now Friday. GR Dad is on the road, and Voodoo needs a distemper vaccination by Monday morning. So I'm just going to throw that in.
No, that's great. That's exactly what the loop that I was going to set
okay,
up.
so-
I mean,
sorry to
that's the
preempt
funny
you.
thing. We were already impressed because I was thinking originally, I'll drive a half day on Friday. I'll stay here as long as possible. I'll leave in the afternoon, and then drive a long day Saturday. And then we had to do the vaccinations with Voods, which would have meant driving an hour to Marathon to get his shots, driving an hour back to our house, hanging out for 3 hours, and then me putting Remy and Voods in the car and driving
Seems inefficient.
past Marathon again. It really bothered your efficiency meter, and it makes sense. So I just left like 6 hours before I otherwise would have left, and sort of did the vet on the way. And I was sort of patting myself on the back for being very efficient. And then I get, you and I talk an hour after I've left Marathon, and I'm most of the way to Miami, and you're like, he needs distemper, and he didn't get his distemper shot while he was there because it wasn't a booster, because he may not have ever had it, right? It wasn't really in the records as something that was renewable like the other ones. So
Yes.
there I am. There I was, driving with these two dogs on Friday afternoon. And one of them needed a distemper shot to be able to start puppy classes on Monday. So you spring into action.
I do. So I'm like, all right, I got to figure out how to do this. You're going to be to Maryland Saturday afternoon no place is open on Sunday. So I'm like calling all of like the 24-hour vets. I'm like, can you give a distemper? And they're like, no, we don't do vaccines. I call all of them. And then all the actual vets' offices are, of course, closed. And then I'm like, okay, are there any vaccination clinics? Like, they might be open on the weekend. And like Petco has some. And I check like every Petco in the DC area, and their first available appointment is like on a Monday in March. I'm like, not helpful. And so at one point I called Ingo and I was like, I'm trying to find a place for him to get this. And Ingo's like, have you tried? I'm like, don't even talk to me. I've tried everything you've thought of and 10 things that you haven't thought of. I don't need your suggestions.
I think you were nicer about it than that. You were nicer than that.
I didn't feel nicer than that. I felt very stressed out. And I was like, where are you? And, how far are you driving today? And I'm like, okay, so tomorrow, if you leave, if you go this many hours today, tomorrow you could be in Richmond, Virginia at, 10 a.m. or whatever. Let me see if I can find a Petco that'll do a vaccination in friggin' Richmond in the morning on Saturday. And I found one. What was your appointment? Like 11:30. So we organized where you were going to spend the night based on you leaving at like 8 a.m. to arrive in Richmond at this like strip mall Petco to get a distemper vaccine. I mean, this is one of like the most precarious things. You're driving, you have an the appointment was actually like 11:26 a.m. It was very precisely timed.
11:26. It's a 4-minute slot.
At this particular Petco. And it worked.
Yeah, I rolled in there like 11:15, found the place, and they're like, he's a good boy. And I was like, yeah, he's a good boy. Food's got his shot, and we were on our way. The logistics are hilarious. I picture like old-timey, like Navigator, big, map board, and you have this like little compass, and you're kind of walking off distances. You're drawing a radius around, Fayetteville, North Carolina. You're like, oh, if he makes it 3 hours, he could make it to, this by daybreak or whatever. It's just very funny.
I mean, it literally was kind of like that.
Yeah, I know. You just do it in
version.
your head and digitally. I think, I think
Me
more
and
visually.
Google Maps and a lot of web searches. Yeah. But it worked. We got that distemper vaccine right on time.
Yeah.
Sent it to the place. Everything.
And
worked.
I avoided any snowstorm. I rolled in, Saturday evening. Was tired, and the boys were tired and a little bit sore. And then we had all Sunday that was kind of a snow day because it did end up dumping quite a bit of snow. And then Monday was, everyone had kind of dug out, and it's a holiday around here, so there's no school, so no school buses, so traffic was real light. So Monday morning wasn't dramatic, dropping them off at school.
So can we talk about how much they both love being together in Maryland?
Yes, they've really found each other. I mean, it's been...
Oh, my God.
It just shows how different the dynamics are when you have, different dogs. Because usually I think when they've tried to start playing, Guac always interjects himself. Or everyone focuses on Guac because he's the biggest, or he looks like he looks likely to play. So Voods is like, oh, Guac. But then Guac gets distracted by the ball.
All the time.
Yeah,
he just walked away.
He walks away and like has a ball and is like, are any of you knuckleheads going to throw the ball for me? And Voods is like, I just want to bite your ear. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So here, these two have kind of found each other where, Voods is like, well, another brown dog. I'll just bang into this brown dog and chomp on him. And Remy's like, oh, my goodness, this guy stays around and plays with me. And I can actually keep his attention when I do my, play bow and my woofs and my wags. And so they're just thick as thieves now. They almost make little play dates where you can kind of see them barking at each other. Voods barks, and then they both run out and they just start wrestling out there. It seems to be more fun than wrestling inside, which is cold but fine. But they also wrestle inside. Yeah, they're just having a good time. They've really got a good arrangement going, and it's great to have two of them. Right? I think I would, whether this is true or not, feel bad if either of them were here alone, that they were bored or lonely. And that certainly is not the case right now. They're doing great.
I think you totally made the right move bringing Voods. And we're not going to talk too much about the training, but they're doing great. They both love it. They're learning all sorts of stuff. If you're a super follower on the Patreon, you're getting all the videos of training because Michael, the trainer, sends us like 20 videos a day, which is awesome. So they're both, their recall is better. They're both doing a sit now, including Voods, who I thought was untrainable. Michael has been working. He sent us a video where he's just got like toilet paper rolls on the floor. And he's hopefully going to train Voods not to eat them, or train us to train Voods not to eat them. So,
I mean, I can leave toilet paper rolls on the floor if you want.
No, don't do that. He'll eat them.
I'm very receptive
he's not there
to
yet.
this. No, he's not.
So anyway, that's the Maryland side of things. So I am left with 4 dogs, and holy heck is it calmer here in Florida with Remy and Voods gone. I think Walk is a little sad because he doesn't really have anybody to play with. Though I'm taking him for lots of walks and we're doing stuff. But everybody here is so mellow. They're just like,
yeah.
the
Upside
chaos
is he
gone.
can play with his avocado all day because no one's going to shred it, Remy, and then eat it.
Yes.
Dudes.
All the toys the stuffed toys are out. In fact, there's 2 avocados out because we have, avocados and backup avocados. And Brody sometimes has one. Brody's, flipping around on his back, doing the pizza slice. Everybody here is happy. So the dogs here are good. The life here has been less than calm with all the construction going on. The seawall, the rocks are mostly in place. We're waiting, who knows when it will happen, for them to actually put the concrete in to back it, and then we're going to get sand on the beach and new rocks and stuff.
And then the dock.
And then the dock. Who knows when the dock's going to happen.
Yeah.
But we don't have to pay them until they put the dock in, and so they do have some motivation at this point, I think, to do it. They're just low on people. I mean, this guy is great. There's just labor problems here like everywhere. And then the spalling, which is all the work fixing the concrete in our house, is basically done. They did kind of take off the edge of the porch and recast the concrete with like new rebar and everything. So we're waiting for them to kind of come and paint and put our screens back on. So
yeah, they took out the railing, right? So there's a hole there, which is very
There is
scary.
a hole. They took, because they didn't want to be going up and down in the elevator all the time, so they just took part of the railing off and used a ladder, and then they didn't put it back on when they cast the concrete, so you can just walk right off the porch. I've got actually like the little foldy thing that we used to have in the kitchen before the baby gate, like that's up there now. I've got some stuff out there to block the hole.
I mean, again, it's good that you don't have Remy, who can't see and might launch, or Voods, who would just push through the baby gate if there was something interesting down on the beach.
Yeah, and I was trying to keep them away from the freshly applied concrete on like the day they put it in, and of course they're all very interested in the concrete they had done at the beginning of the day. I mean, they're just bringing it up in buckets, right? There wasn't that much. Was like if I pushed really hard, I could make a little dent in it, but it was pretty solid. But the stuff they'd put in at the end of the day was still impressionable, so I put a hopper paw print in it. So there will be
brilliant.
Yeah, there will be a hopper paw print out on the porch. I mean, it's there, casted concrete right now. So, she was like, "Why are you pushing me so close to the edge, Jen?" And I was like, "Don't worry, Hops. I just want to put your foot in here, and then we'll be done."
I think that's good karma for the house.
Yeah. And then on Wednesday, our elevator has been squeaky. There's like rollers on the inside that look kind of like wheels, and they've been squeaking for a while. And it's
you might have
like
heard it on some of the snaps. It sounds like there's a dog crying, but it's just this roller squeaking.
It's really bad for our nerves, and not dangerous, but we're like, well, let's fix it. And so on Wednesday he fixed it, and then Wednesday night after he left, I was like, bringing the dogs out, bringing them back in, and we're like halfway up, and there's this big like banging sound, and then the elevator kind of stops going up. There's a bunch of panels that like cover the actual like mechanics. There's like a chain and the wheels and stuff there. It goes up and down, and one of those panels like was literally like a 1/4 inch out of line, and I think the bang was it just sort of like sliding, getting knocked by something, and then the elevator, like the motor worked, it just wouldn't go up anymore.
No.
So I called the
And-
guy, and
And you
elevator
had a
repair
full
place-
elevator with all the dogs.
Yeah, I mean it could go down, so that was
Yeah.
fine.
Mhm.
But the elevator repair place is in West Palm Beach. It's like 4 hours from here. So I called the guy. He'd only left like half an hour before. I'm like, I know you just left. Just whenever you're back, could you please come fix this? And he's like, oh, I'm actually like, he stays down here for 2 days. So he's like, I'll come tomorrow. And I was like, all right, thinking to myself, I'm going to have to bring Brody and Hops up and down the stairs roughly 10 times before he gets here tomorrow.
Ugh.
And so we've got those little wedges that you have like at a restaurant that you put under a table leg or a chair leg if it's wobbly, because the porch isn't perfectly level and I hate wobbly furniture. So I've got like a bunch of those. So I took like 2 of those and managed to, like, after a lot of weird stuff where that involved a headlamp and me jumping into the elevator shaft and climbing out, I managed to take 2 of those and wedge the wobbly panel in a way that the elevator most of the time could get up okay. So I did a lot of up and downs with the dogs with that little hack in place till he was able to fix it.
Can you imagine if that happened when they had the stairs disassembled in front?
Oh my God.
Would have been a
Well, I
real
would've done
issue.
the same thing. Yeah.
You would have lived downstairs with the dogs for a day.
I would not.
I don't know what you
Because
would have done.
I know
It
how
would
to
have
solve
been-
problems.
This is my
I would've-
anxiety.
I would have carried the dogs up the skinny little staircase,
This is why I get anxious.
but it was all fine.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's what's going on here. The only other dog update to give is that we're coming up on about a month of having had CB wear the halo, the electromagnetic wave halo on his head twice a day, every day for 4 to 6 weeks. We're at about 4 weeks now. I don't think it's doing a damn thing for him. He's no less anxious as far as I can tell. That dog still looks at me and pants and makes a lot of noise every night after dinner.
Yeah, it does look cute. I mean, it
It's so
looks
cute.
good to have the halo on there.
I mean, I'll stick it out for another 2 weeks so we hit the full 4 to 6, but I'm disappointed so far.
Maybe he's got such
No
a thick skull that nothing penetrates.
Maybe. He's sleeping right now, though, so that's good.
Oh, yeah.
Before we come off of dog news, we do need to give our awards. And since I have been unmotivated to podcast until today, Friday, we can actually pick the actual award winners here. Since you had to drive the dogs up to Maryland for training, neither of them get low maintenance dog of the week.
Fair
So
enough.
I get to pick from here, and I'm going to pick Vink because she's actually been quite good this week.
Fink is always quite good. She's
Guac's
always
been
her own
like a
little
little-
thing.
Yeah, Guac has been a little pouty. Hops and Brody, have both been fine, but had their anxieties and whatever. So Vink's been really good. So she gets low maintenance dog of the week. But I think first place dog, formerly achievement of the week, would have to be a tie of Remy and Voods because they've both been doing amazing work in training.
Yeah, and in socializing each other.
Oh,
Very
it's
good.
so
Very good.
happy. I mean, you're like 10-minute videos of them playing. I'm like, I'm going to watch this whole thing because I just love it so much.
Oh, they're like not even a minute long, Jen. Not even a
They
minute.
feel really long for internet
Short
content.
attention span theater. Yes, no, I know.
Wow.
Because they're
I think
always
that's
doing
great.
something fun. They're always doing something interesting. There's always a butt attack or a pin, or they lie on the top of each other and pant. It's funny.
So
I
there's
like
you don't have the trophy up there, but they get the trophy. They get to share first place dog this week.
I'll tell them. I'll make sure to tell them. Yes.
Okay, well,
So,
tell them that they can do their photo shoot when they're back.
I'll sit them down. Maybe I'll film myself telling them that. Yeah. Oh,
So we'll-
what did it? Guac met some raccoons last night. Did that happen?
Oh, we just sort of saw some raccoons walking past. It was not very exciting. His ears
Two-
got perky.
2 doors from our house. These are
mean, there's
potentially
raccoons
neighbor
all-
raccoons. I don't like it. Lizards, I like. Raccoons,
Fair enough. All right,
Yeah.
so the last thing I have on my list, Ingo, and this was a request from you for me to put on the list, was about you making me into a diamond when I die. She said, put it on the list that I want to talk about making you into a diamond when you die. So it's on the list. There it is.
How did this come up? There's someone sent us a GIF of, was it from a show? Someone proposing
From
to
Ozark.
someone. Okay. Then the dude who's proposing, is like gives her the ring with a diamond on it. And she goes, "Oh, it's beautiful." And he goes, "It's my mother." And she goes, "Oh, it's your mother's ring?" "No, that's my mother." And I guess the plot line is that diamond is his mother's ashes made into a diamond.
Which we know all
And
about.
so there was some banter. Yes, that's right. There's some banter back and forth. And then, I should do that to you. And then you're like, "Oh, I'll leave you a lock of hair and you can do it." And I'm like, "I'm not putting you in a diamond. That's
I
like
would 100%
sad.
turn part of you into a diamond. I'll have like my original OG Golden Ratio squad diamond, and then I'll have a you diamond. You don't need much of you.
I guess. I mean, that's a way to remember me?
Yeah.
Huh. How about a
I mean,
photograph?
I love that diamond that I got made out of all the dog's fur.
Well,
It's very beautiful.
That's sweet. Yeah, no, that's right. But how about just a photograph of me? It's weird that you have a diamond made out of me. I'm just weird. This is a very weird metaphysical transmutation. It feels like alchemy. I'm making a human into a diamond.
Well, we're all made out of carbon.
What the heck?
Humans and the diamonds.
It's probably good this didn't happen in the Middle Ages. They would have been harvesting people like crazy and be like, "Diamonds. We're going to make frickin' diamonds out of these guys." Now, I know that the cost to make the diamond, I think, exceeds the value of the diamond. So it probably isn't
by
economical.
By far. Engineered diamonds are really cheap to buy.
Engineered
This is just
diamonds,
an engineered diamond. The diamonds you make from whatever, the dog fur or ashes
from
or
humans.
whatever,
You're making from humans. It's
or
Soylent
humans. I mean,
diamond. Yeah.
The company that we worked with at Turnova, they do memorial diamonds of humans, and they've actually got very beautiful testimonials on their websites of like some woman and her daughter died in a car crash. She was like 22, and the mom had like locks of her hair, and you don't need much to make these things, and sent them in and had a little pendant made. And
I don't know. I think I'm too old-fashioned. I think I just want an urn. If this were to happen, there's a lot of suppositions, assumptions, and plot lines that aren't being explored.
Right? Like if you have somebody cremated and you use their ashes to make the diamond, it's like 2 tablespoons of ashes that you send.
I just don't. But I don't. I think the ashes are
you don't
more
have to like it.
respectful memorial. I'm just saying we differ on this. The ashes are a more traditional memorial, and I guess I'm more traditional
both.
there.
I'm saying you can do both.
I haven't wrapped my head around having you as a freaking diamond. I'm not terribly happy with.
Look, you're the one who put it on the list.
Look, I don't like thinking these things, thinking about these things.
Wait,
I can't believe you're
why
making
did
me
you
talk
put it
about
on-
this. Because it's funny. It's a funny concept to consider that you're making diamonds out of people. I guess I'm kind of exploring the Eterneva business model a little bit. Eterneva, yeah.
I mean, I think it's sort of bespoke and small, and they don't expect a ton of people to do it. It's very hands-on what they do in terms of just like people talking to you and like the updates. Like you're not just in a automated system. Like you've got a person and their job is walking you through it.
Yeah, and they are very respectful, and they don't, they're just, it is a very pleasant process. I'm just still not ready to embrace it for a human being. Oh, there we go. Just wanted to have that discussion on the air. Share a little bit of our secrets. I'm not diamondizing you anytime soon. I'm not going to kill you to make a diamond, because I could just cut a lock of your hair off and make a diamond.
Yeah.
And I'd have you and a diamond. Now we're talking. If I had a pile of diamonds and you, I have no objections. No objections.
Okay. I support that.
Okay.
Okay. German word of the week or keys? Taste of the keys first.
I'll do German word. The word is Pustekuchen. Pustekuchen.
It's something cake.
Yeah, literally it means like puff of breath. Puste is like breath. Or, if you're pusting on something, ich puste, like you blow out a candle. Ich puste die Kerze aus. You blow on something is pusten, the verb. But this really, I don't think, has anything to do with it. I saw a lengthy Wikipedia article about the derivation of the word, and it doesn't really have anything to do with blowing on a cake. Apparently, it's from some Yiddish phrases. You use it in the sense of fiddlesticks. Like, that's not going to happen. You know, I thought I was going to pass the exam, but Pustekuchen, nothing. You know, I failed. Like,
Huh.
yeah, you know, like there's no chance that was going to happen. You know, we thought, whatever, the pandemic
Interesting.
would be over by now, but Pustekuchen, you know, that was a stupid dream. That was a stupid hope. It's not exactly that, but it has an undercurrent of that. Like, Pustekuchen did not happen.
Interesting.
Yeah, fiddlesticks. Kind of like, I don't know. Would you say but fiddlesticks? I don't know. I thought that was good when I was reading it. Now I'm thinking, that sounds ridiculous to me. Who says fiddlesticks? Not even me. Not even me.
That's a sort of old school word.
Yeah. So
Fiddlesticks.
Pustekuchen. Don't get your hopes up.
Pustekuchen.
You know,
Is it an
that was
old
foolish.
timey word in German too, or is it like people use it now?
No, it's probably more old fashioned, I think. I mean, heck, from my perusal of German social media, Germans just use English words now when they're convenient and easier. I mean, it's almost a mishmash in colloquial speak these days. People have no problem using just English terms for lots of things.
That makes my life easier.
Yeah, I mean, they'll just be like burnout this, or, you know, or I don't know, something aggravation, or that's Australians, but still aggro. But they'll just use, you know, English terms that are very common and are very descriptive. They won't try to, you know, put the German phrase to it. Kind of the opposite of what I'm doing now. Anyway, Pustekuchen is probably is
Pustekuchen.
something, you know, more of what my parents would have said.
Yeah.
You know, now you'd say, you know, bullshit or something. I don't know. But it is a word. And I think it's also a pastry, but I think the pastry might have happened afterwards. But anyway.
I mean, I would totally do that. I'd be like, I'm going to make a Pustekuchen.
Yeah, I think it exists, but I'm not.
Oh,
I
it
wouldn't
is. I'm
swear
looking
to
at a picture of it right now.
Yeah.
Except it's all described in German.
Well, if you just Googled Pustekuchen, you probably got the same pictures I did. So that's why I'm thinking there's cake.
It's kind of like a domed cake. It looks like if you made a single layer cake, except it's got a big dome on the top. Which I think it just poofs up.
There you go.
I wonder if I can get a recipe for it. Maybe I'll make it.
Cool.
That would be interesting. Making the thing. Oh, fuck.
Yeah,
the recipes are in German, too.
Well, Google could translate.
It's got chunks of orange in it.
Yum.
What? No. Why you guys make everything into a fruitcake?
It's what we know. It's what we do. Fruits are
All right,
exotic.
well,
Fruits are
I'll look
exotic,
into
Jen.
this. The fact that there aren't English recipes for it means that like no one outside of Germany has decided it's a good idea to make this thing. Oh, it's got a weird cream layer in the middle. All right.
Oh, I can see your challenge accepted activating.
For den Teig. What does Teig mean?
Teig. T-E-I-G. Teig.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Teig.
Dough.
Okay, so butter, sugar, vanilla, eggs, flour, baking powder. I think that's vanilla. What's Pfirsich? Hang on.
P with a P? With a P?
Pfirsichsaft. Yeah.
Pfirsich with a P. Pfirsich. Yeah, it's not silent in German. Pfirsichsaft. Pfirsich is peach.
Peach juice you put in this. Oh,
There
maybe
you
it's a
go.
peach flavor. For the filling, Sahne, Schmand.
Schmand is what's sort of the greasy, schmeary stuff that isn't butter?
Lard
Yes, Schmand.
or shortening.
Shortening I think is better, but lard I think is what it is.
Sahne-Steif.
I think it's something that keeps whipped cream stiff. Some kind of gelatin
like cream
or
of
something.
tartar.
Cream of tartar. There you go. Look at you with
Maybe.
your knowledge. Yeah, the word means whipped cream stiff.
Okay, and so it's peaches. It's not oranges I saw in there. So it looks, and that sounds for the filling. It's kind of like a whipped creamy buttercream with peaches in it.
Peaches are good.
And then, what's Beisa?
What is it? Spell it.
Zoom. Oh, must be powdered sugar, just for the topping. All right, so it's kind of a peach cake. Well, that doesn't look terrible. All right, I'm bookmarking it. I'll let you know how it
Okay.
turns out. I better go buy some peaches.
Excellent.
Okay, for Taste of the Keys this week, not a lot going on in the Keys, which is a good thing. Though, interestingly, two different stories of dudes in Marathon getting arrested for threatening women with knives. But the big news is that, so the 7 Mile Bridge that we talk about, there was an old 7 Mile Bridge. It was like originally for the railroad, the Overseas Railroad. And the railroad got destroyed in the 30s, 1935 Labor Day hurricane. Like part of it was one of the most serious hurricanes to hit the U.S. and killed 400 people who were working on the railroad, washed out parts of it. So the railroad stopped then, and they turned it into a road basically for driving. And so the old 7 Mile Bridge that you would drive on was just like the old railroad track. I mean, they took the tracks off, but it was like one lane in each direction, really narrow, no shoulder, just like a metal railing on the side. That's fucking terrifying.
Yeah.
And so anyway, they eventually built a new 7 Mile Bridge, which is the one that you drive on now, which is still really narrow, and there's a little bit of a shoulder, and then it drops off into the ocean.
One lane in each direction, and people bike on the shoulder and run. You've run on the shoulder. People do run and walk on the shoulder sometimes, which is...
But it's like the shoulder is not a full lane wide. Like if you break down, you can't just pull into the shoulder and get off the road. All the traffic in the Keys then stops because the bridge is blocked. It's
still terrifying.
It takes a little bit of nerves to drive on that bridge if you get nervous about those things. I don't, but like I can see how it freaks people out. So anyway, the old bridge they don't take down. The old bridge is still there, and about 2.2 miles of it you could walk on. They cut big chunks out so people just don't mess around on the unmaintained bridge. But there's an island called Pigeon Key that you can only get to by boat or through that old span of bridge that's kind of in the middle. And we walked over there once, and they've got like some historical camps where the railroad workers lived. But so you could kind of bike on that old span of bridge. You could fish off of it. You could walk on it. And they closed it in, I think, late 2016 or early 2017 to renovate it. And then Hurricane Irma blew through. So it was already closed, and they were working on it. And then Hurricane Irma came through in 2017, and then they worked on it for a couple of years, and then COVID slowed it down. So finally this week, it has reopened. They started working on it in 2017, and 5 years later, this 2.2 mile stretch of the old bridge has finally reopened for pedestrian and bike traffic. I'm going to go run it today. That's my plan for the afternoon. I'm going to drive 45 minutes up to Marathon and run 4.4 miles, basically. Run to the end and run back. But it's open again.
It looks amazing from the photos I've seen. Like the asphalt is new, there's nowhere in the Keys where the asphalt is new, and the railing is all painted blue. It looks really nice.
And I mean, the cool thing is like you walk 2 miles out into the middle of the ocean. You know,
like you can look down either side, and it's like 30 feet down to the water. It's pretty high up.
And you can see all the Gulf of Mexico on the right, and then look past the new bridge and the Atlantic Ocean on the left. It's very cool. So I'll post a bunch of pictures of that. Jen runs with dogs, but that's pretty cool. So it was a big thing. Everyone was very excited that finally, after 5 damn years, this thing is open again. But they did a good job. I mean, they obviously did a lot of like structural renovation work in addition to, repaving it and painting and putting up new railings.
It is very dramatic how the old bridge, the rest of the 7 mile span, is just kind of falling into the ocean. I mean, it's amazing to see it decompose. Really, it's still around, which is surprising. But there really are. I mean, if you were in a boat, you wouldn't want to be underneath it because there's probably steel and concrete that fall off occasionally, and it just doesn't look safe or repairable.
If you've seen us talk about Fred the tree is growing on the old span. It's an Australian pine a quite big Australian pine that has just grown on the old roadbed, and I think it's making its own dirt at this point. It like grows in its own decaying needles and much beloved and survived Hurricane Irma and everything. It's
And is the Christmas tree for the 7 Mile Bridge.
Yeah, people climb up there, whatever the opposite of rappelling is. They boat over there. They climb up onto the old span with rope because there's no way to get up on it. With Christmas decorations, and they actually have some Hanukkah decorations and little signs, and they decorate Fred for the holidays and then take it down at the end.
Fred the Tree is a great Keys thing.
Yep. So there you go. That's everything we've got this week. You
I was going to say
another...
that.
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, the joke was going to be that if you had actually tried to get on the roof with the lizard with a ladder, that you would have been conch life. You know, like Florida woman.
I would have been Florida woman
trapped,
falls off roof trying to
or
pet a
you know,
worm.
a better version, trapped on roof after ladder knocked off, and her only friend is a lizard.
We were talking last night about there's actually plenty of escape routes off the roof.
Ugh.
Some more dangerous than others.
My palms are sweating right now thinking about being trapped on that roof. I have the stress response right now. Anxiety. I have anxiety, Jen.
All right, but look, even other than the fact that you can in fact drop right onto the front porch, you can also drop onto the roof of the RV at this point. That's probably even closer.
I am.
You got a fear of
almost
heights in you that I
shaking.
don't have.
Oh my God, that's it. Like, I can also picture myself falling 20 feet to my death. Missing the roof of the RV. I'm not very good at this jumping, balancing thing.
Well, I will be in charge of the logistics if we ever get stuck someplace high and have to escape.
Yeah, I mean, if the water comes up to the roof, I will gently slide off into the water. I'm fine with that. But no, I don't like to.
We're fucked if the water comes up to the roof.
I don't like going up to the edge of things and looking down. Makes me weird. Very weird.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I can do it, but I don't like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Ingo, I think we're done.
Okay.
With the podcast. Just with the podcast.
I agree. Oh, no, I know.
You and me are good.
Ah.
You get another week up in Maryland. I will see you in 1 week and 1 day. You will be back here finally.
How far is it to Valentine's? I don't have to get you a present yet. Okay, good.
No.
We got some time for Valentine's.
We got like 3 weeks till Valentine's Day, and you don't have to get me a Valentine's Day present anyway.
I should get you a cameo. I hear make you a cameo.
And then you'd have to make it.
I'll get you some merch. I'll get you some Golden Ratio merch. It's free. It's like it's free.
If anybody wants a Valentine's Day cameo, this is a good time to request it. It would suck to be like February 13th, like you and me just frantically making 50 Valentine's Day cameos because everybody thinks about it at the last minute. We would do it.
If that happens, we'd have to analyze the gender distribution. It is more likely to be the dude who wakes up at 10 p.m. and is like, oh, it's Valentine's Day tomorrow. Does 7-Eleven still have flowers?
It's so funny. You don't. I mean, you can totally make me a video, but please don't do it through Cameo because they're just going to take 25% of your money or whatever, 30%.
I think paying for access to your own life. I mean, it'd be like taking pictures of your dogs to show to you later. I mean, that's probably not a great use of
But like
my
the Cameo is
time.
even worse because like you're paying money for you to make me a thing where you could have just made me the thing and not paid the money.
Or just giving you the money.
Or you could just give me the $50. Yeah.
I guess
or
there are better options.
$37.50 and save yourself the Cameo fee.
You know, I'm just gonna write you a card and get you some flowers. How's that?
That sounds great.
Okay.
All right. Well, thanks everyone for joining us and for your patience as I mustered my enthusiasm to podcast, which took a couple days. And we'll have another remote podcast for you next week. Until then, don't bite anyone unless they ask you to.
Don't bite anyone unless they ask you to. Yes. Bye.
Bye.